Let's have a look at the service menu. Click the menu button in the top right corner of the screen. In the General Settings category, you can select the language of the interface and switch between English, Chinese, and Japanese. The Work folder option defines where the case management system will be stored. It is by default stored on the NVMe drive that is installed inside the unit. But you can also switch to the external storage and store the database on your server. When you switch to a remote folder, you are starting a new database in the new location. If you switch back to the internal storage, you will have access to the old database again. The two subsequent options are for powering off of the devices upon completing tasks and when they have been idle for a while. Both options are meant to decrease power consumption by the unit and a more careful treatment of the connected drives. In the Network section of the Settings menu, there is Wi-Fi hotspot option. If you enable the hotspot, TaskForce can be accessed from the other Wi-Fi enabled devices by entering the IP address indicated here in their Google Chrome browsers. By default, the hotspot is disabled. To connect to the network, you need to know the SSID and the password, which you can adjust the way you like. If you tick Hidden Mode checkbox, the network will be invisible. There are two 10 gigabit Ethernet ports in TaskForce. Once one of them is connected to the local network, you can see the network details here. The second Ethernet cable is not plugged. Enabling jumbo frames helps speed up the data transfer rate. You also would need to activate jumbo frames in the settings of the server's network adapter as well as in the settings of the network switch, should it be necessary. Store shared folder logins and passwords in TaskForce can be enabled to avoid entering logins and passwords to shared folders every time. These credentials will be stored as encrypted data. To restore the default settings, click the Reset button at the bottom of the page.